All right. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
I'm good. Sorry it took me a minute or working on a little something.
It's all good, bro. That's what I said. He's probably breaking his story, working. It's
Hopefully, God
all
willing.
good in the hood. Question for you, because
Sure.
obviously this has gone on now, right? Tuanon is real, and I'm one of the presidents, obviously, of Tuanon.
I think you're the president.
Yeah, I am the
Would
president.
you? I mean, would you? I don't know the local landscape as well as you, but you have to be the president.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the president. Yeah, I'm pretty sure of that. I mean, 2 years ago when I'm standing there going, he's not the problem, put him somewhere else and he'll be a star. I was convinced that he was fine. It was just a mess that was around him. Dude, I'm old enough, bro. I saw Steve Young in Tampa, and Steve Wall
I mean,
and Bill Walsh said, "No, let me have him. I'll get him. He's not that bad. Let me get him over here." Brian Dable. This is now going to fall on Ken Dorsey, my brother. Because this guy's got 20 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. He's not playing well. He's turning over the ball. Dable's guy's doing better. He's lifting the Giants. This is falling. This happens at times. And if that play don't get better, it's going to land on Dorsey. And that's kind of how it is in the league a lot of times. Sometimes players, you're Archie Manning, and dude, you end up in the Saints. You're Steve Bartkowski was a heck of a quarterback, dude. Nobody ever talks about Steve Bartkowski because he was in freaking Atlanta. And so they were never that good. But if he ended up in a better place, he would have become a better name that people would have talked about because he was a really talented player. And, sometimes that's what happens in this league. You end up in the wrong place. You end up with the wrong coordinators. They don't understand your skill set, and they don't know how to get the maximum out of it. You've seen it 100 times.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that's true, and it's really amazing. Like you talk about Josh Allen, and like I always wonder what would have happened if the Bills had drafted another quarterback. Would Sam Darnold be in Josh Allen's shoes with this coaching, with this stability, with the same system, with this offensive coordinator? Would Josh Allen have been able to overcome what he overcame early in his career if he hadn't had that sort of stability? Right. And for Tua, what if he had? Would we have known early? I mean, remember, Tank for Tua was not a meme. That was real.
Yes.
That was real. I mean, that was
not
a situation.
Not for the coach, but the front office.
But I also mean that he was a player with enough talent where people wanted to tank for. And then, so he gets to the pros and everyone's like, oh, well, he's just not good. Well, is he not good, or was he just good all along and we were wrong? So that these sort of intangibles are so interesting and important. I think you're seeing the best of Tua right now, in part because he's getting really, really good coaching.
Yeah, on your platform, obviously Peter Schrager will never feel the heat from Tuanon. But how is the talk amongst you guys for the ones that have criticized Tua over the time? What's been the talk? How do they go after you? Like they nailed my guy Poupart. I mean, they killed him on that Dolphins receipts thing. So I'm just wondering, how is it at the NFL Network, the whole Tuanon thing now?
I think it's okay. I think one of the great things about this is I don't really do hot takes, but if you're in the public eye and you put some stuff out there, and you say like, all right, Tua sucks, for instance, or I don't think Tua is good enough, or the Dolphins aren't good enough, or whatever it is. Well, that's okay. You're allowed your hot take, but you know that it could come back to you. Old takes exposed, and the team websites and team Twitter will now put it on and kind of hit you. Here's what these guys said. Here's what this guy said. None of these guys picked us. To me, it's not insulting. It's literally just part of it, and I am okay with that being part of our life, because you can say, you know what, I was wrong. I own it, and I was just wrong. And great job by Tua proving me wrong. And there's nothing bad there. So, like, even if Schrager was getting shredded by Tuanon, like, that's okay. Just wear it. I was wrong.
What I mean is, he's a closet Dolphin fan. That's like obvious. So that's why I'm saying.
Is he, you think?
Oh my God, yes. Schrager loves the Dolphins. I don't know the guy, but I can already sense it from miles away over the last couple of years. Even when the Dolphins are bad, he has a lot of hope for them. There are times when over the last year or two, in years past, and I'm like, yeah, no, Peter, I love the Dolphins too because I'm born and raised here, but no. This year's different. This year, I believe in them, but
Well, and I think with
Schrager's a Dolphins fan. There's no doubt in my mind that that's his team.
I don't know, but I do know that he really respects Mike McDaniel. I think that's
for sure.
one of the different things now. It's like Flo, I like Flo. He was not for everyone. And I think everyone respected his defensive acumen, and as a leader, he was, had some really good things, but some also not good, as have been detailed, and was not for everyone. Mike kind of is for everyone. He really is a great guy, and I think that's why, one of the reasons I think Dolphins have been a little more national this year is because they have a head coach who everyone's like, that guy seems awesome, and he is awesome.
He is awesome. He is awesome. So, because of the extremes, because of and you were just talking about this, and those are the people that I kind of go after myself, the absolutes. I don't mind the person that said, he doesn't convince me yet. I got to see more. The guy that said, oh, he's a noodle arm. He's too short. He'll never get it done. He's lazy. Those are the people that I like to go after myself. But because there's so many of them and so many in the media were already convinced 2 years in that Tua was not the guy and the way everything was portrayed and everything, can Tua literally go from being thrown under the bus to all the way to MVP? Is that actually possible?
Sure. Yeah, because it's such a long season. Like, it's a long journey, but it's a long season also. I kind of did it myself, honestly. Like, not saying that I don't believe in Tua, but in my head, I assumed he was gone with Miami because I assumed they would trade for Deshaun Watson, and then Flores gets fired, and they did not end up trading for him, obviously. And then, but in my head, I'm kind of like, oh, he's a quarterback who's been replaced. But it's taken me a little bit of time to realize, like, not only is he not getting replaced, not only is he just a starter, he's actually really good. He's actually one of the best in the NFL. Could he be an MVP candidate? I don't know, maybe. But I do think that the talent and receiver will probably hurt his candidacy because they're so good and he won't get the full credit. But I would still say I still think he's going to be in really good position and could end up winning the MVP.
That's kind of twisted. All right. Will Washington really go back to Wentz? I know Taylor Heineke is not anything. I think he's 10-9, I believe, in his last 19 games. But Carson Wentz has not shown anything whatsoever. I'm just wondering what happens when he's back, because you kind of want to stick with a guy and maybe you lose your team too in the process if you're Ron Rivera. How's he going to handle that? Usually
with these things, there's no decision. Usually the decision is made on the field and in the locker room. You talk about losing the guys know. You've been around this long enough, the guys know. They know who the starting quarterback is. You don't have to tell them. They are rallying around Taylor Heineke. I would expect him to be the quarterback going forward. But there is no reason to say it now because you don't have to activate Wentz. He might not be. I'm not actually sure he's healthy. So what if, God forbid, Taylor Heineke gets injured next week and Wentz has to come in? You don't want him coming in with everyone knowing that he had already been sort of replaced. So I think there's no reason to say anything till you have to, but I would be surprised beyond belief if Carson Wentz went back there as a starter. Heineke's not perfect.
No.
But he might be what this team needs.
Yeah, he's just a gritty little guy. You know what I mean? It reminds me a lot of the quarterbacks we've had here for 20 years, post Marino. You know what I mean? Until this one dude now that can actually really, deliver dime after dime after dime after dime. Which, by the way, you watch some of those throws this weekend. Holy shit, man! Yeah, those were out of this world.
Yeah.
Has the Rams window closed? Because they gave up a lot of picks. They spent a lot of money in free agency. It worked out. They got their title. But as you know, in the NFL, windows open and windows close. Is the Rams window in the process of closing and they're going to have to reset?
I don't think so. They might not make the playoffs this year. That is possible. But the way they do things, being able to take future picks, just throw them at everything and fill big holes, whether it's quarterback or pass rush or corner or whatever. I don't think they have a window because they are willing to go outside their window and go, you know what? we're just going to make a big play for Brian Burns, or this year it'll be maybe it's a quarterback this year, or maybe it's Stafford again, or I don't think they have a window. I think because of how they are constructed, it's just every year is a new year, and you hope to be competitive. We'll see what happens to them. I'm not so sure I would write them off yet. But
that dead cap money will catch up to you eventually, because every year coming back, you'll have less and less space, and you'll keep mortgaging the future, and eventually the vicious circle comes to pass, and you're going to have to, like the Dolphins, when Chris Greer, he just took all those hits in 2019 because they were coming off a couple of years where they took a $13 and a $19 million dead cap hit because of Ndamukong Suh.
Right. And eventually they will pay, but you can keep pushing that into the future. Just like the same thing with draft picks. People say like, oh, well, the Rams are giving up all their draft picks. Well, they get new draft picks every year, and they get a new draft pick to trade every year. So they can, the 2023 first rounder, the 2024 first rounder, like they're getting new ones. 2025, they get a new one. More cap space every year. You can keep pushing it forward. Yes, eventually it's a thing, but I don't think this regime is particularly worried about that, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that owner does have a couple of bucks. That's for sure.
Yes, he does.
All right. One more thing before I let you go. This is the feeling I get, brother. Aaron Rodgers, kind of was the kid that didn't get the toys every Christmas over the last couple of years. They didn't get, and it's almost like he's gaslighting everything on his way out. You know what I'm saying? It's just, that's kind of the feeling I get, throwing people under the bus and pointing fingers in public constantly. And it's just something that, I get his frustrations. I totally understand it, but there's a lot of people on that team that it's not their fault. And it's almost like you're taking out your frustrations and your anger from the last couple of years from the front office on everybody else, on the entire organization as you're about to leave. That's just the impression I get from all of this.
Well, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is about to leave. But I do think he's at the point where he doesn't care. Don't care. And that's like, it's like, did you ever have like an older like uncle or grandfather who was good his whole life and kept his mouth shut? Then you get to be that old and you're like, yeah, I'm just going to tell everyone what I think all the time. Right. I think that's Rodgers. Doesn't care, reputation, whatever, just wants to win, whatever, communicate the message. And it's probably not pretty, and I'm sure people are angry at him, but on the other hand, it's okay, because his only job is to get the best out of the team, the most out of the team, to win games. And I actually think that Green Bay is on his way to winning games and being good. I think as an offense, they're close to clicking, and I think this is going to be really, really good.
Who wins, Jets or Patriots this weekend?
I mean, I can't put anything against the Patriots until they actually lose to the Jets, and they never lose to the Jets. So my guess is the Patriots again, just because that's always what they do. They beat the Jets. And if the Jets win, then that would be amazing, and then it would really, really, really signal a new era for the New York Jets.
Any chance the Bills lose to the Browns this week?
Yeah, I mean, there's a chance. I don't think a great chance, but there's a chance. I mean, it's the Bills. I don't want to say they've struggled. They've lost 2 in a row, but if mentally they let this get to them, I think they could let their guard down and lose. But I mean, I think the Bills are way, way, way too talented, certainly more talented than the Browns. I think they're going to be fine. I think they're going to win, and we'll all probably stop talking about this for a little bit.
Yeah. And by the way, I felt just like you, because normally you would have said, oh no, man, they'll beat the Browns. But the problem is it's been such a wacky year that you're like, yeah. Anything can happen in this damn league as it is. All right. What do you got going in the NFL Network this week, my friend?
No Germany games, so we're back on the air on Sunday. A lot of good things to talk about. Hopefully not as many quarterback injuries. Maybe we'll have some Odell stuff. There's a lot going on. Around the league, and today too.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. Follow him on Twitter at RapSheet and catch him once a week here doing his thing, redrecover.com. Look around the NFL. Ian, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you. And folks, don't forget, I don't want you living with pain. If you woke up and you've got an ankle soreness, knee, shoulder, hip, neck, you name it, we've got the wrap for it at redrecover.com. Check out the video blogs. The doc was on with us yesterday. I've been telling you about it now for several months now, maybe almost a year now. We've been talking about, redrecover.com. and how it helps my man Sean with his knee, helps my wife with her feet and her knees. She uses the wraps all the time. I got one for my right shoulder. It's helped me. They've got them for the dogs, for their hips, small dogs, big dogs. It's amazing. And the wraps are incredibly affordable. That's the other thing. Super affordable. Plus, you use our code Big O Show. I'm sorry, Big O, just Big O, and you will get 10% off. All right. So use the code Big O and you will get 10% off. All right. Go to redrecover.com. You're going to love it. Red light therapy, all natural. There is no side effects, no drugs, no nothing. And it's FDA approved too, man. So we're talking, this is as legit as it gets. I'm telling you, because I use the product. You know how I am. If I don't represent it, I don't actually use it, there's no way I could talk about it. And I've seen it firsthand with hair growing back, with my body feeling better. Red light therapy truly works. Go to redrecover.com.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.